come with me. Let me show you something really important you're gonna like. Let me show you. These are 24 by 48 tiles, porcelain tiles, and I'm gonna install them in 2 bathrooms. These 2 bathrooms are gonna be in this house, and I wanna show you right now. The bathrooms are this one upstairs and one downstairs. The small one downstairs is going to be a challenge, but this one has a small closet, has obviously the space for the toilet, the sink, and a tub on the side. It's a normal standard bathroom plus a little closet on the other side. So we're going to have, to begin with, a challenge. The challenge of installing something that has to look good in a small space. It's possible. So the first thing that we're going to do is obviously take all these little things out, like doors. We're going to take the toilet out. We're going to take the cabinet out, so we can tile under. I don't like to tile right against the cabinet. So we're going to make some cuts around that cabinet. The owner doesn't mind to have that cut a little bit, so we can remove the hoses safely and just put it on the side. Now we're going to use this toilet back again. So what we normally do is that we put the toilet inside the tub, put a piece of plastic on the tub, and put the toilet there in the meantime. So that is the first step. The second step is to remove all that base molding out. See, now with the little cutouts around, we can actually slide it out, remove obviously the counter by cutting around with a knife and just taking all that section out. Downstairs, this is this tiny little bathroom downstairs, and we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna remove the pedestal. The pedestal has a bolt on the floor and 2 bolts holding the vessel itself. We're gonna take that transition out, and this linoleum, this old material, it's like about 30 years old. So we're gonna remove that out. We're gonna remove the cover for the HVAC system, and obviously the base molding that is around. Once you do the stuff, you're gonna have the chance to see if you have problems with your floor, if it's rotted. In this case, nothing is rotted. It was just a little dark, but nothing was wet or anything that will give you indications. Now, remember that the casing around and every molding that is around the doors has to be adjusted. See, we have 3/4 of an inch over here from the original hardwood, and we wanna make sure that we can slide our new tile under. You know, the concrete boards and the new tile under, those are the details that are going to make a difference. So by using an oscillating saw, you can actually cut this to fit your tile and your concrete board. So you have to make up the space as well for the motor, the thin set motor that you're going to install. So at the end of the day, in this case, we removed about 1 inch, and that is based on the 3/4 that you see here, plus about 3/8 of an inch of a thin set motor, about 1/2 inch of thin set motor. So that will, be the height that you want to use. The bigger the tile, the thicker it will be, and obviously the more you need to cut. The whole point over here is to make less transitions, make sure that everything looks seamless. And by removing the base molding, what we're doing is that we will install it right on top. So now, when you do this, you want to do these dry cuts. You want to make sure that you cut all this, and we are barely starting. So let me show you. What I do is that I actually make these little designs or little sketches of how the boards are going to be cut. I go outside and then I cut them. I'm not the type of person that makes a cut. Oh, now remember the mask, right? You need to use a mask. So again, the cuts that we do over here, they are done outside. We make a little drawing, and then we make the cutouts, and then we bring it inside. And after that, you will say, well, now it's fine. No, you need to do the next important step, is cleaning all this with a nice damp sponge and applying the first layer of thin set mortar. Now, this thin set mortar is a little more runny, and we are installing or applying this with a 1/4 inch trowel. This is because we want to have adhesion to the concrete boards. Now, besides the concrete boards being installed with this mortar, we need to put a lot of screws and the fiberglass mesh between the boards themselves. So the mesh that you see covered with white material is actually fiberglass mesh designed for that. So those are important things that you need to remember. Now, the next thing, by being so huge, look how this is a fragment, a section of the tile, but by cutting these tiles with an extremely fine dry cut blade for my grinder, you can actually do all the nice cuts without breaking it or vibrating too much. Now, obviously, you need a flat surface to be able to do these things. And the cool thing is that if you have these dry cutters that are up to 24 inches. You can cut the, obviously the 24-inch part because it's 48 inches long, and I don't have a dry cutter, or my wet saw is not big enough. So this is important thing. Let me show you how it works. You want to have a good blade. You want to make sure that it's clean, and you want to start right by the edge. So you want to make sure that you don't cut after the edge. You want to make sure that you kind of surround the edge carefully with a constant, decent pressure, not too hard. The harder you press, the worse the cut it gets. You want to make sure that you squirt this throughout the entire thing, and you apply the right pressure. Now, again, because it's big, I'm putting just pressure, and you're just measuring my pressure before I just do. Some people like to tap the cutter itself, but sometimes you actually break the parts. So look how nice and clean it looks like. And again, let me show you another cut that sometimes people don't put attention in, and this is the toilet hole, the toilet section of the bathroom. And if you notice, I'm cutting with the grinder by having one hand on the bottom. You'll see in a moment, and one hand is steady on the machine. And the reason is that I'm using just a little bit of pressure, and my fingers are helping me to maintain the height. You want to make sure that your fingers in those cases are able to apply the right pressure, and just to kind of help you with that particular part of the cut. That way you don't cut too much, or you just kind of run around and make some scratches on your tile. And you little by little start going down into the groove of the in this case, this circle. And once you are finished, you're going to end up with a cut that has some sort of a lip, and you want to make sure that you remove the lip, so you don't have you don't have a big opening on the top and a smaller opening on the bottom. So those are the important things. The other important suggestions are this. Here is where the tile is going to be. The tile is going to start from over there, and because we have a surface that we want to start from the entrance of the bathroom and coming towards the closet, and we have these large tiles progressively to the back, we have to make this cut. Obviously, this cut was made based on all the tiles that we installed dry on the floor. We just kind of pre-measure all these things, and we found out that if we make this kind of T-shape cut over here, we will transition into the closet, and the closet will be obviously covered. The seam will be covered inside the closet, and it's not going to be a problem. So that's the important thing, that you want to leave all those cuts for areas that you're not going to see normally, because they're going to be full of stuff, and you want all the nice small cuts made so they're hidden away. All right, so now that we have all that installed, remember that you need to use a 3/4 by half trowel in this case. And if you notice, we are back buttering all these tiles. You don't want to have a thick coat behind or in the back of the tiles, but you want to create an adhesion to between the thin set mortar that is on the bottom and this one. Now, also don't install it too dry. You want to make sure that it's creamier than normal, and the reason is that this large format tile thin set mortar will dry fairly quick. So by having this 3/4 by half and a half inch, in a 24 by 48 format tile, you will be able to kind of graduate all these small areas. Now, this sucking pump over here, or grabbing handle, is normally used for car repairs and this purpose as well. To just grab a tile, make sure that you get familiar with how to use it, because you don't want it to kind of slip around or something like that. So you want to make sure that you use this properly. What we did is that we actually made all the cuts in the inside. We installed all the stuff, and we're coming backwards. That is an important thing that you need to do. Come backwards with your tiles in this case, because they are so big and you're not able to actually work inside this closet. So by installing this carefully, you don't want to kind of drop it too quick, because you're going to chip the other tiles. You want to make sure that you install it in this case, goes under the casing inside the closet. So that's why we have to kind of install the front and then the back after. Then you do the necessary adjustments. I will be lying if I told you that I did it in the first shot. No, the first piece, the big piece was fine, but you have to sometimes remove the back ones and then put a little more thin set, and then kind of play with that stuff. But the results are amazing. See how we are just progressing back again from the back towards the front. We already measured all these things. We put all the tiles dry before we actually did all this, and we made all the measurements. You can see the hole over there for the toilet, and the little cutout also for the water line. Everything works well, and you see the seams that we have over here are just about, I don't know, a 32nd of an inch. So they're just too small. They are against each other, and the transition looks perfect. So now we're going to apply the grout. We want to install the other parts again. We want to clean them. Obviously, when you are working with these surfaces that are so polished, you want to avoid dragging materials, dragging your feet that are dirty, whatever, rocks or anything, because these are delicate surfaces. So remember, back again, it's nice to install your base molding on top of this tile, especially if you have these large format tile that are so thick. You will end up just kind of covering all your base molding. In those cases of the toilets, we're going to put new PVC flanges inside, glue them inside, and they're going to be right flush mounted with the surface, so you will have the proper grip. So that is how you finish this. That is how you install back again all your fixtures inside the room. And this is the idea. This is the process that I normally take, and I encourage you to do. Follow me in YouTube as Hugo Correa. Hit that little notification bell after you subscribe. In Facebook in Spanish as Hugo Correa DIY, and in Instagram for a lot of pictures as Hugo F Correa DIY. Look at the finishes that we have right now. Make sure that you use a large trowel, so that those teeth will help you to make sure that all those lines are nice and equalized, nice and smooth, the transitions between them, so you don't have little lips. And obviously finish your carpet nicely. I use a stapler around there. Look how beautiful the bottom looks like. We're going to install another cabinet. Thank you so much.